Today's review is on VDoc.com. VDoc is a US-based company. They're in Minnesota, I think, and they manufacture these pretty smart-looking boat docks, and they're built out of aluminium, and they seem really, really useful. They've got various benefits, which is pretty clear when you come to the website. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start just talking about the website a bit, and then we're going to go and move on to some SEO stuff. So first impressions of the website. The logo looks professional. It's strong. It's got high contrast. The strapline underneath, specialising in boat docks since 1982, that's okay. Since 1982 is fine. It's good to have the word boat docks in there. But specialising in doesn't really say very much. There's a lot of companies that specialise in boat docks. What is it in particular about the boat docks that this company makes that are going to be better than the other people who've been specialising in boat docks for best part of 30 years? So what is it that we can say that actually distinguishes the boat docks that we do? Is it high quality? Is it for a certain market? Is there some kind of benefit of these products that mark them as different from the rest of the options out there that people have got? We've got a link up here saying store hours and location. For me, I think we are possibly missing an opportunity there to give a bit more information across, because I think the overriding thing about this website for me is it actually makes a great impression. The product comes across really well on the site, but what it's not doing is selling the product. It actually makes it quite difficult for you to know how to buy it in a way. We've got a phone number here, for example. Now, something that I very often recommend people with the websites is, instead of just putting the phone number or putting call this number, tell them why they might call that number. Call this number to order. Speak to us, or questions, ? Call this number. Whatever the number is for, give the reasons for the number next to the number, and more people are going to call it. So we've got store hours and location here, and what we get then is a massive picture of a mobile phone. That's quite unnecessary. The navigation also says videos and extras, and then we've got some blue links on a blue background, which doesn't work very well. But the main content is actually lower down, location and contact info. Again, a phone number on its own. You need some kind of call to action or invitation with any action that people could take. Tell them why they should do it. Then opening hours. And then it says where they are in the country. Now, I don't know how relevant this is in the country. Come visit our showroom. That's good. That's actually a call to action. Okay. Who is this information for? Why are we showing the map? Do we have to visit the showroom in order to order and buy one of these products? Or can you order it and get it delivered? At this point, I don't actually know. So I've looked at that whole page for store hours and location, and all I've really discovered is that there is a showroom, but I don't know whether there are other retailers who will sell you these VDoc systems, and I don't know whether you can order it from the phone line or online or through any other way. So I think that's the big shortcoming of the website. It'd be nice to be able to click on the logo and get back to home as well. So I actually quite like this handwritten style font on here. It looks like it's a kind of a cottage industry. It looks friendly. It looks like it's made by people, which is pretty good. They've got a video here, which I've not really watched yet. It's 4.5 minutes long. So two guys rolling in an 86-foot long VDoc. And that's really good. I think a must-see video underneath, I think I would probably change that to something like see for yourself how easy this is, or see for yourself how amazing the product is, rather than must see, or even just watch this. A must see video is describing the thing. It's not giving you a reason to do it, and it's not calling you, commanding you to do it. But that is actually quite an impressive sight to see these guys doing this, and to do it with two people. Then we've got a really good headline here: install your boat dock faster than you ever thought possible. And that's brilliant. Good capitalization, exclamation point. I do think that having it in white against this blue background, we are missing something here. For me, I think I would have all this content area as white, have a border around the video, make the video stand out, and then have this text in a strong black font, I would say. And then it says, without relying on the help of your neighbours or a small football team, which is great. You could say that it can be installed by just 1 or 2 people, potentially. See the video. And then that would then lead on to this. You could put a little arrow pointing to the video. Pictures from their customers. To locate a dealer nearest to you or to chat with a live person. There you go. Okay. Now that looks like a different phone number to the one at the top. I don't know why that is. But that is the call to action, but you miss it. It doesn't stand out. It's below the fold, and it's at the end of quite a long paragraph. So I would, at the very least, break that out into its own paragraph and make it bold. Even better, put it in a coloured panel or something like that. Great to see some social proof here in the form of testimonials. It would be even better to have a picture alongside those, and maybe to format them in a slightly more appropriate way. It's good that they're in italic, but I think they need quote marks around them and separate the names onto their own lines, for example. More pictures and testimonials there. Overall, really, the content of this site, I think, is really, really good. It's actually would teach a lot of other websites a lesson. So to sum up so far, what we're saying is great content, great site. What it doesn't do enough is actually take you right through to the point and tell you what to do next, to take action. You kind of have to take the initiative yourself to phone up and say, well, how do I get one of these? Or email them to say, how do I get one of these? Because it's really not telling you, or if it is telling you, it's not making it obvious how you can go about getting one of these things for yourself. So it really, really needs to do that. It really needs to finish the sale and close the sale. So the next thing I want to do is look at how to get more traffic to this website, because traffic times conversion equals success. And the more people we can get to find this website, instead of going to the competition, the more of these things they're going to sell, the more money they're going to make. So the first thing that I've done is just pulled up the site in Open Site Explorer. Now, this is the free service that's provided by SEO Moz. And I'll put in vdoc.com. And here's the results. So we've got a page authority of 22, which is low. Page authority with Open Site Explorer or SEO Moz is the best indicator that I've come across, the best kind of headline indicator of how strong a web page is when it comes to its potential to rank. Domain authority 18%, that's even lower. So what this is telling me that from Open Site Explorer's crawler has found 29 links coming from 5 different websites. And these numbers are pretty low, okay? You can also then compare the competitors, so the top 4 competitors, against you, so you can see what's going on and what, more importantly, what you have to do in order to compete. So we've got total external links 15. There's only 15 links coming from other websites pointing to this one. And there's followed links, which are full value links, as opposed to no follow links, coming from only 3 different websites. So a significant link building campaign would make a massive difference here, I'm sure. So next thing that I've done, once I've just got a feel for this website's general strength, is to start to look at the market. So I went to the Google AdWords keyword research tool. I typed in the first thing that came into my head, which is boat docks. That's what they sell. I've set it to United States, and I wanted to filter for only terms that are searched at least 100 times per month. And I've set the match type to phrase, which is important for being able to estimate the amount of traffic you're going to get. So I did a search for that. I ordered by the number of searches, and I picked out terms that I think were relevant to the offering that they're making. So we've got boat docks for sale, custom dock, etc. I just click those. This is actually the second page. I click those and add them to my starred list, and there it is. And then I can literally just select those and copy them and paste them elsewhere. Next thing I've done is we've gone into SEO Moz Pro. Now this is a paid for service. It's got a fantastic tool in it called keyword difficulty. I've looked up all those 10 or 9 or 10 terms that I found as being appropriate, and I've put them in, and what we've got here is we've got the analysis of the top 10 competitors for those terms. So what I'm looking for here is which of these terms are the least competitive. So how high up page 1 do I think we'll be able to get for these terms, which is down to how much competition is there. How high up page 1 can we get, and how much work is it going to take to get up there? And then what we can then do is we can then correlate the appeal of that search market. So for boat docks, for example, what have we got? I'll get rid of this and we'll go back to the first page. So boat docks, as our number 1 phrase, gets searched nearly 15,000 times a month in the US. Now if you can get to number 1 for that term, then that would get you about 40% of that market, which could mean 6,000 visits per month or 200 visits per day if you can get to number 1 on Google. Now here's who's at number 1 on Google right now. EasyDock. They've got a page authority of 60. Remember, ours is just 22 right now. Yeah, we've got 3 followed linking domains. That's 3 websites that are pointing to us with followed links. They've got 233 different domains that are pointing to theirs. The domain is relatively strong in the 50s, and there's 290 different websites that link to their website. This is 233 that link to their homepage. So that is a very, very tall order. SEO Moz make it quite easy by actually shading these to show you how difficult a competitor is likely to be to beat. Now here down at, well, let's say 2, 4, 5, these aren't too bad. Okay, this is the title of the page, Tiger Docks. They don't actually say boat docks in their page title. These guys do. But that says boat docks in their domain name, which helps. So it might be possible to get maybe up to number 2 for boat docks on that list, and that's an attractive market. But let's go through some of the other ones. Here's custom dock. So number 2 there looks very attractive. There's only, after the number 1 result with 74 linking websites, the others are all in pretty much in single figures. And I think that would be a very easy term to attack. So what I would recommend for VDoc is to set up a page for custom dock and build a bunch of links, maybe just 15 or so links pointing to that page from different websites. Using the term custom dock, using a few variations of that term, you could get to number 2 very easily for that term. And how much traffic are we going to get for custom dock? Okay, custom dock gets searched about 1,300 times a month. If you get to number 2, you might be able to get maybe a quarter of that traffic. So you'll be looking at 300 visits a month, or 10 people a day. 10 people every single day looking for custom dock landing on your website that probably are not landing on your website right now. We've got boat docks for sale. You see, that's a little bit tougher. We've got these slightly more difficult pages. Here's a page authority of 25. Now that's beatable. A page authority of 31 up at the top. This all might be beatable. So that's boat docks for sale, and that's another 1,300 people a month looking for that. So why not have a page called boat docks for sale and do the same thing? Here's aluminum docks, and here at number 2 we've got a page authority of 24. Remember, our page authority is already 22. Page authority of 24, only 1 linking website. So you could get in, I would say, at number 2 for that term as well. Let's look how much traffic you're likely to get for Aluminum Dock. Aluminum Dock, 2,400. Okay, 2,400 searches per month. At number 2, get about 25% of that, about 600 visits per month, etc. Then we've got dock systems. You might be looking down number 3, maybe number 5 for that. Aluminum Dock here in the single, again, number 2, possibly even number 1. And what's fascinating about this process is that there's not always that much gap between where you are right now, even though you may, I expect that VDoc has had no conscious, deliberate link building activity going on. Even so, the gap between them and the people who are on the top of page 1 on Google is not particularly great. So it doesn't take that much work or that much investment to bridge that gap and to start being at number 1. And the crucial information here, what really matters is that it's like the Olympic final, for anything. If you are just a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit quicker than the second placed person, you get to be gold, they get to be silver. There's a massive difference in the kudos and the reward for being number 1 over being at number 2. And the same goes for your search engine rankings. If you can get onto position number 2, whereas now you're at position number 12, there's an enormous difference in the amount of traffic that you're going to get. And the whole purpose of this keyword research and competitive analysis exercise is to identify those terms that are going to give you the most traffic for the least amount of work. So Aluminum Dock, Aluminum Docks is one of those. Here's boat docking. And this is a little bit tougher. So we've got here boatsafe.com. That's a strong domain at 60. Then we've got some YouTube videos. They quite often rank very well on Google. So I think really down here we'd be looking round about number 6 if we're lucky. And quite honestly, boat docking is not dead straight on relevant for our audience. So I would probably ignore boat docking. Dock builders, look at this, number 3. That page barely even ranks. It's got dock builders in the domain name and in the title tag, which is why it's up here. But it wouldn't take much work at all to get up to certainly onto page 1 for dock builders. If dock builders is relevant, maybe what we're doing is actually we're building docks that other people can install themselves rather than actually going out and building docks for other people. And here's one for boat dock. Again, that looks very appealing. Number 2 here. Only one inbound website, pretty much the same as us. Slightly better page authority, but it doesn't take a lot of work to leapfrog all the way up to there. And notice that we haven't seen VDoc on any of these results so far, which means they're not going to be getting an awful lot of traffic. And there's a massive difference to being at the top of page 1 to being down on page 2, 3, 4. So overall, I wouldn't make many changes to this website at all. I would probably be tempted to change this blue into white, but the navigation is nice and easy. It's proper text. Oh, here's a floating one. So they do a floating dock as well, and I did notice there was traffic going for that. So let's have a look at this. So if we look at the title tag for that, we've still got Minneapolis, Minnesota boat docks, roll-in dock post-sectional. Okay, what this should say is floating docks. If that's the term that most people are searching for, and if you can compete for that term, then that is the term that should be in your title tag here. It should be in the URL wherever possible. So I would certainly recommend renaming some of these file names here. And it should also be in the heading 1 tag. Roll and float, if that's a trademarked name, then people aren't likely to be searching for it. So put the actual phrase that they're going to be searching for. If it's going to be floating dock, make sure floating dock is there in the heading 1. But overall, this is a nice, friendly, very engaging, accessible website. It looks kind of cheap and cheerful, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Because, the impact of that is it's going to make it seem like this is a business that's run by craftsmen who care about their product and it's not a kind of pile 'em high, sell 'em cheap kind of business. So for me, my advice for VDoc would certainly be rename your pages, get your on-page SEO going, start building links, and most of all, you've got to convert that traffic. You don't want your website to be a leaky bucket. There's no point investing, you're trying to fill your bucket with water if there's holes and all that water is just going to run out. So you've got to fix the bucket by putting in those calls to action. It's very, very simple. Just tell people what you want them to do, how they can do it. Make it easy for them to call and place their order. And a lot more of them will do that. And then a little bit of link building is going to drive a lot more traffic to this website, and you're going to start seeing some good profits, I think. So if this is my website, I would be feeling very, very encouraged at this point, because there's a lot of profit to be made here without too much work.